Well, what is going on, guys? Luke here today, and there are some troubling narratives out there about stocks crashing more, conflict going on everywhere, we got runaway inflation, every other YouTuber selling out of all their stocks, and now we have Elon eating peanut butter for 8 days straight, allegedly. So should you just sell and go home? I mean, even if you don't want to sell, should you be buying right now? What should you do? So we will discuss all that today, and I just asked in exchange for you to gently tap that like button and consider subscribing too. It's super easy to do if you like the truth without the hype. And are you opposed to having a team of investors, including me, help you analyze the stock, set price targets, or you can just copy off of our targets, or simply help get your mindset right or achieve financial independence and retire early? If you aren't opposed to that level of help, then for less than a meal for two at McDonald's, you can join the Market Insiders private group where you get full and direct access to me and a group of 6 and 7 figure investors, and you get access to 4 courses for free that teach you how to plan, do evaluation, build up your cash, and you get to see my watch list with price targets, my buy and sell alerts. We got live weekly Q&As, exclusive videos, and our FIRE Financial Independence Retire Early live streams are on fire right now. And I know that was a cheesy joke, but you get a ton more than that. So check out the pinned comment if any of that stuff interests you. And before blasting me for promoting it, I have no ads, no sponsors. This is what YouTube pays me in a month, and I give half of that and half the group's proceeds to charity. Alright, so the market has been just ugly, and everyone is selling or panicking based on really 3 core concerns. There are other concerns for sure, but these are the big 3 that I'm seeing. So with all that out there, the prevailing narrative everywhere is sell and go home, and whatever you do, don't buy a thing. Well, I'm not sure that's the case, so let's break down these core concerns and how they relate to stocks, and then we will turn our attention to what to do next. So first you have all the WW3 concerns, and it honestly is the easiest one out of the 3 to address. If this happens, stocks are the least of your worries. Let's be perfectly clear here about that. If that happens, the fallout would be catastrophic for everyone, and stocks and business and everything else will be the least of everyone's concerns. Now, the chances of this to me are mega low, and if it happens, the market will no longer matter, so why even worry about it at all? Oh, and for those of you that like to worry about things, no, investing in gold isn't going to help you either. Well, first off, in this case, how the heck are you going to collect your physical gold to actually be able to use it exactly? I mean, sure, you own it on an app with no real way to transfer the ownership of the actual gold to yourself. I mean, it's not like it gets shipped to your door by Amazon or anything like that. And secondly, even if you have physical possession of your gold, are you going to use it to buy goods? I mean, how the heck do you plan on lugging around gold? And who the heck wants gold anyways in this scenario when people will want other goods and services they actually need to live? Not something they just put in a box under their bed, or however the heck you store physical gold. I really don't know. If something like this actually happens, nothing matters except for survival, so it's not worth any brain power in regards to stocks and the stock market. So the second thing we have is inflation is out of control, and it's honestly a valid concern that has an impact and actual data proving that it is happening. Now look, inflation reading is the highest since 1982, and that number will get higher in March due to energy prices skyrocketing at the beginning of March with the Russia-Ukraine situation going on. Now I agree this is probably bad for the economy. I won't disagree there. But the question we need to answer too is, how does it affect stocks? I just did a deep dive on what happened the last time we had high inflation like this, and the Feds raised rates all the way to 20% in the early 80s. I mean, the video should pop up right above my head here if you want the deep dive, and I'll put it at the end of the video too. But the bottom line with all that is this. Not only did having cash on the sidelines during that time make you a massive loser because inflation made your return negative, look at what the stock market did during those 4 years the US raised rates all the way up to 20% at the peak. And yes, the rate raises caused a recession for a good chunk of those 4 years, but look at the stock market returns during that time frame. Stocks did phenomenal despite high inflation, despite the Fed raising rates the most aggressively they ever had, and despite a recession that all that stuff caused. Was holding cash really the right move, or was investing in stocks the right move? The numbers speak for themselves in my opinion. But what about this sell-off? I mean, it's unrelenting, so why not just sell or basically not buy anything until the market settles down? I mean, that seems reasonable, right? That's a reasonable strategy. But the truth is, The market never settles down, and there will always be a reason not to buy. I walked through my entire journey with Apple over the past almost 20 years or so in the video above, and what the narrative was at every stage, and how if you listened to it and waited, you won in the short term, I agree, but you lost out massively over the long run. I mean, you lost out by 7 figures or so. The bottom line, according to the narrative, there has never been a good time to buy since the dot-com bubble, and if you listen to the noise, you missed out on a $2,000 investment turning into 7 figures if you sold, or if you just didn't buy instead of just buying and holding. Oh, and for those of you thinking, oh yeah, you just got lucky and guessed the bottom. No, that's not true. I was down 30 or 40% the first year I bought, so it's not like I timed that bottom or anything else like that. I clearly did an awful job. But you tell me, looking at this chart, when is the best time to buy over the long run for a long-term investor? Is it here or is it there? Unfortunately, most retail investors were all in last year at this time when we were at a peak, and all the news was positive, and all the YouTube videos were all in on this stock and 10x that and 100x easy and all that other garbage like that. And now, when prices are actually cheap and those type returns are possible in a lot of these stocks, retail wants nothing to do with the market when it's on a stupid discount at this stage, and instead have sold or consider selling. Now, it makes for funny memes like buy high, sell low, but it's not funny because it honestly happens to a lot of people who have lost a lot of money. For me, now is the time to buy, and just because the stock goes lower in a month does not make it a bad buy or a bad stock. You have a trader's mentality if you care about the gains in your stocks or the losses in your stocks over the course of a month. As an investor, not a trader, but as an investor, that just means if it dips down lower, you get the stock on an even greater discount, which over the long run, meaning periods of years, 3 to 5 years at least, there are more gains and you have more shares you get to enjoy those gains with. And click this video right here on my left if you want an easy to follow blueprint to crush this downturn and do exactly what we've been talking about, unless you're not into that and you want to sell, and then I guess don't click. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.